Okay. For the 1032 lab, this semester is offered as a remote learning. And what it means that we don't have any face-to-face meeting, but we will have a weekly Zoom meeting for pre-lab discussions, right? Based on the schedule, today is just introduction and safety. I will go over the methodology and how we are going to work this semester together, and also show you go over the syllabus with you, and also show you where to submit the assignments for the semester. So the way it's going to work, we will meet on Zoom every Friday at 9 a.m. I already posted the Zoom link for the semester. So we are going to use the same link and meet every Friday. You can join the class before 9, like at 50 minutes before you can start joining, but I will join at 9 a.m., open the class. The first file that you have is like a welcome page. And after the welcome page, you have your, we have the syllabus. For this course, you have the faculty contact information. My name is Dr. Banush Memari. My email address, bmemari@broward.edu, but please do not use that. I want you to use D2L email as a communication tool for the semester. It makes it much easier for me to understand which class you are in based on the reference number, because it identifies as as the student in D2L, and it gives me the reference number when you send me an email. I do check my D2L email as often as I check my Broward email, maybe more, because I know these emails are coming from students, and it makes me it's more exciting for me than opening emails that is not, directly coming from students. My office hours are Wednesdays from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Via Zoom, email, and then my office. Right now, the status for COVID is red, and if it's not red, then I will go to the office. Actually, until it's red, the meetings or office hour meetings is going to happen via Zoom, just like today. You will get the link for the office hours, and you would join if you have any questions, or if I can help you anyhow. This course is a core requisite to 1032 lecture, which is a requirement for like health sciences. And the prerequisites for this course is Math 002024. There's only one proctored exam, which is the final exam by the honor log, and I want to make sure that you. That's okay, Frankie. So, and I want to make sure that you can, you get no trouble the day of the final exam. So I post a honor log system check quiz, which I want you to take that before the exam. It doesn't have to be right now, because the closer it's to the final exam, we make sure that you're using the same device to take the final, and is a test to make sure your device is ready to take the exam with the honor log proctored, if they are honor log proctored. Like one of the specifics is that you must use like Google Chrome, and if you don't use it, it's going to ask you if they use a password, or you need a password. Anytime it says you need a password, that means something is wrong. Either you did not start with the tutorial, or your computer is not ready, or I did not enable the exam for the honor log. I will make sure to enable it today. So make sure that it is enabled. I will check to make sure it is enabled. So that problem, it's going to be the system that you are using, or if there's any problem, a difficulty, there's the 800 number and an email for the honor logs, which I'm going to provide you in announcement at least 1 week before the final exam. So pay attention to the announcement, because any changes or any information that I want to provide you extra, it will be in the announcement part of the course. Attendance, because it's a lab, the attendance is mandatory, so please log into D2L and join the Zoom meeting every Friday for this class. We do have only pre-lab discussions here. I make sure to explain about the experiment and tell you the purpose and ask some questions to make sure you are ready to start the experiment. Then I have a video recording that shows you the experiment as I'm performing the experiment for you, in order for you to be able to collect data and write complete the data sheet and turn in. So it's just the first, maybe because it's just a 2-hour class, maybe you have like 30 minutes meeting, and that happens at the beginning of the class. Then I let you go watch the video, and if you have any questions, come back. What you need for the lab normally is like goggles, lab coat, closed-toed shoes, but for remote learning, you do not, of course, need, and is not applicable for this fall, because this course is a remote learning. The type of assignments that you have like a pre-lab quiz. So there's a course schedule, and the course schedule given by the department, it tells you each week which experiments we're doing. So we follow that schedule, and I will also show you that soon. So for each experiment, we do have a pre-lab quiz. So before you take the pre-lab quiz, you need to read the experiment and they are in the same folder. So let me actually join from different tab the class, so I can show you. I can show you simultaneously what's happening in the course. Okay, so the schedule. This is what I'm talking about, the schedule. So we have, for example, today is just introduction safety. Next week we are doing experiment 1, and when we are doing experiment 1, I want you to go to the folder for the experiment 1, and I just get to experiment 1 folder. There are multiple ways to reach that. One is just go to the course content and look for the title like experiment 1. For the experiment 1, you have a document that shows, that gives you the experiment, the writing for the experiment, explanation for the experiment. You don't have to purchase a lab manual for this course. And each experiment is presented in the first document in each folder for the experiment. It gives you the information or the lab manual portion of it. So you need to read this document carefully. Please do not just jump into the pre-lab quiz because this experiment is the one that is going to help you to understand the purpose for the experiment, how you do some of the calculations, and what's the procedure for the experiment. So you need to read this experiment before the next meeting, like for next Friday. You're expected to read this experiment and do the pre-lab quiz. you see how you have like a pre-lab questions that comes in the experiment. You don't have to print this and submit these pre-lab questions. I took these questions and I kind of modified them and I put them in a quiz format, and it would show as the pre-lab quiz. You are going to take that quiz. So you have the document that gives you the experiment. You have a pre-lab experiment. This is the quiz that I'm talking about. And when you you open it as a student, it's going to allow you to take it. This is the instructor view or my view. It doesn't give me its start, but you just click on it and it would tell you to start the quiz. And it's actually August 27th. It's available on August 27th. So then you have the video for each experiment. This video is basically a recording of the video as I perform the experiment. You are going to watch the experiment, and as you watch the experiment, you're going to make record the measurements. For example, as I show you, I mean, to the best estimate, you might say if it was like a colored, you might be or the background, to the best of your knowledge and best of your estimate, you are going to measure. For example, if it tells you the volume in a graduate cylinder, so you're just going to watch the video, and at one point I turn around the graduate cylinder to show you those numbers, and then you're going to record the number as the volume for that. Okay. So I'm just trying to show you what you're going to do. Like, for example, if it says volume of the beaker, I have the liquid in the beaker, and I present it to you, and you read that number. Basically, even though you're not in the lab, but this was the closest that we could get using the same lab manual, so you don't have to purchase a new lab manual, and also looking and watching as I'm doing the experiment at Central Campus lab setting. So you take the data from the video. So data is not provided. I want to make sure that you actually watch the video and pay attention to every step of the experiment. And during that video, you will see some lab techniques that I talk about, I explain, and I teach about the safety for that part of the experiment. So you watch that to fulfill your class time. So today it might take a little longer for us to finish the introduction, because I want to make sure that everyone is in the right track. We all know how to navigate through the course and what is actually needed from you students. But starting next class, I make the pre-lab introduction shorter because the video explains everything in detail, and I give you more time to watch the video. Because if the video is hour and a half, then you don't have that much extra time to spend for the pre-lab discussions. Because I do also have some discussions in the video, covered in the video. So try to manage to make sure that pre-lab discussions plus the video time, it takes no more than your allowed lab time every week, which is 1 hour and 50 minutes lab for 1 credit class. And then you are going to submit the data sheet. So in order to submit the data sheet, I have the data sheet for you as a Word document. So you're going to download that data sheet. Let me know if you can see it now, because I want to make sure that you can. Can you see the data sheet now? Because it's not on the screen. Yes?
Yes, Professor.
Okay, perfect. So as you watch the video, you're going to fill in these numbers. For example, the video covers measurement for the graduate cylinder. The first one, the procedure, it tells you number one. From the procedure, you find out that the number one is the volume in 100 ml graduate cylinder, and number two is the volume of the 10 milliliter graduate cylinder. So you do need that procedure. So every folder, the first document, it shows the procedure, it shows the theory and everything that is related to that experiment. So please read the experiment first, then watch the video, record your numbers, and fill in the data sheet. When you fill in data sheet, so there are like 13 numbers that you're going to record here, and after that is just the calculation. So you finish this calculation based on the the explanation in the video and during the pre-lab discussions. And if you have any other questions about it, you bring it to the class, you fill in, make sure to save it, and then upload to the assignment folder. Because since you download the Word document, sometimes if you don't save it and you're uploading right away, a blank copy of the document is going to be saved, and you did the work, but it was not submitted. So please make sure is saved. So I'm going to emphasize here, it says download the attachment for experiment 1 data sheet, complete all answers and submit. I'm going to add a save here. So let me see if I can. No. I will make sure that I add that save step, so you can is a kind of a reminder each time you're going to submit. You want to make sure to save it first. I complete all the answer, save the document, save, and submit these to this assignment folder. Okay, back to syllabus. So you know that you have the pre-lab quiz, you have the experiments to read, watch the video, and submit a data sheet. It kind of becomes routine after you submit one experiment, though. For the discussions, you have student cafe and you have introduction. I see you have we already have these submissions. Very good. In here in introduction, you would post about yourself and as much as you want to share with the other students in class. It's great to be able to find people who went to the whatever same high school, or what major they want to, or what's the plan for future. Sometimes like anything that you would get up in the class and say it. So because it's a public document, is not just me. Being able to see that post, it's everyone in class. It's a public document. Discussion is a public document. Assignment, you submit, and I'm the only one who is able to see the assignment. The student cafe also is, so introduction kind of happens beginning of semester. Student cafe, anytime during the semester, if you have any concerns, you would come here, you submit, and then students in class will reply to you. And then we do have like a community of learners, which is great. I highly encourage to use this. And I know that since pandemic, it's kind of unavoidable. I've seen students, they have like group chat for the class. It's okay as long as you help each other. The only thing that we don't want is like sharing of a graded document. Just make sure you don't do that, because if you share a graded document for any reason, the student who is receiving the complete document is not going to do well on the final exam, and that kind of shows, because final exam, when you take the final exam is very similar to pre-lab questions, and then it's based on understanding of the experiment. So make sure that you do the work, little by little, and learn the techniques, learn the safety, learn the purpose for the experiment, and try to get most out of this situation that we are in. So beside the discussion, I showed you the discussions, I showed you the assignments. Assignments are like post-lab questions or data sheets for each experiment. You have pre-lab exercises. Those are quizzes that you take the quiz for each experiment when it becomes available. Then last thing, you have the proctored exam. There's just one final exam that is going to be proctored. The proctored exam is like half multiple choice, half free response. And the questions are very similar to questions that you hear during the pre-lab discussions, questions that you see in the pre-lab quizzes. So very similar to those questions. Let me know if you have any questions first before I continue. I really don't like to be the only one talking, but first I'm just trying to make sure that you are, familiar with the course, you know how to navigate and what is need to be done and what's expected from you. Any questions from me? You can use the mic or chat option to ask your questions if you have. Grading policy is based on the experiments that you are doing, you're performing. We just look at the schedule one more time. Course schedule. I want to know if you're doing 12 experiments this semester or 13, because sometimes it changes. Lab schedule. Yes, you're doing 13 experiments. So with the 13 experiments, you have 13 pre-lab assignments or pre-lab quiz, 10 points each, 13 data sheets, or like a post-lab assignment, same thing as data sheet, 10 points each. Your final exam, 50 points, safety quiz, 10 points, and discussion, 10 points. And the grading scale is like 90%. So if you have 90 to 100%, the grade would be A. So basically, starting today, you're earning points toward your final grade. So starting today, that would be discussion that is graded, and then the safety quiz. In order to answer the questions on the safety quiz, you need to read watch the safety video from ACS is a safety video, and you watch that. After you watch it, if you watch it carefully, you should be able to take the quiz. You could have multiple attempts at the quiz in case if you fail and you miss many questions. You can go back, watch the video again, and take the quiz one more time, and try to get at least like 80% on the quiz before you give up. But everyone must take the quiz. So communication policy, as I said earlier, D2L email is the best way to communicate with me. I check the D2L email daily during the week, and over the weekend. I don't want to promise that I check every day, but I try. Sorry. That would be the best communication. So you have the D2L email. You have class time to ask your questions. Bring your questions to class time related to experiment. because your question could be a question of other people in class. So they are going to benefit from your question. Everyone would hear. Third option would be to come to my office hours and bring your questions to my office hours. The link for the office hour, the Zoom link for the office hours, it will be posted in the announcement, and you will have access to the link. Okay, there are some other details that I want you to read the syllabus on your own time. You don't want me to read it like word by word, but the document is there for you to please read and go over the introduction part of the course. Click on every link that is provided and get as much possible, because it's not going to only help for this course, it could help you with what is available to you from Broward College as well. No, you can take more than one attempt for the quiz, and if it's not more than that, I can actually make sure that it gives you multiple attempts. Lab safety is the number of the attempts. It's unlimited, so you can take as many, you can attempt as many times as you want until you get a grade of 80% or higher. So it's unlimited. Okay, course schedule. I made the course schedule. I mean, in the syllabus, the red colors, those are the dates that each of these folders is supposed to be checked. But I made all assignments available beginning of the semester. The deadline is different. The deadline for experiment 1 is September 3rd, and the deadline for experiment 2 is September 10. So what needs to be done for each experiment is also included in this course schedule. So you know that for experiment 1, you need to review exam 1 measurement. That was the document that I showed you with all the introduction and showing how to do the experiment. Complete and submit the pre-lab questions for experiment 1, and that is a quiz. We do this. And watch the recording for the experiment. Complete and submit the data sheet for experiment 1. And kind of it repeats itself for experiment 2. For experiment 2, it says review and the experiment, pre-lab, watch the recording, and complete the data sheet, save it, and submit to the assignment folder. Any questions for me?
Professor, do we
Yes.
have more than one attempt on the pre-lab and post-lab quizzes, or just one?
Let me check how generous I was.
Thank you.
When I was creating this. For the pre-lab, no, it's just once. It's a one attempt, but questions on the quiz, they are very, very similar to the questions that you have in the showing in each experiment. So if you already know, okay, if you go to the experiments, let's say you take the experiment 4 and you open this folder for the experiment, you read this experiment and you get to the pre-lab questions. So if you can answer these questions as a free response questions, the only thing that could have happened is just I changed these questions to multiple choice. Now, most of these questions is changed to like multiple choice. So you already know the question. So read the experiment, know the answers before you start the quiz. That's going to help you a lot.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions you might have from the syllabus and how we are going to work during the semester? So the course schedule, it's updated, and those are the due dates, and the last day for your final exam is on December 3rd. I think we do have one holiday, and that holiday was the 11th. I think we don't have any lab in the 11th, November 11th. I believe. Yes, because it's jumping to the you know, it's not going to, there is nothing due on the 12th. So November 11th, there is no lab. Okay, perfect. Any questions you might have for me? So we talked about the
Good morning. I have a question because I was
Yes.
trying to raise my hand, but I didn't know where to do it. In my AMP lab class, our professor allowed us to get like these goggles from Amazon. So I don't know if that would be suitable for you, or do we necessarily have to go to the bookstore to purchase the one that's there?
Okay, I make it easier than your other class, and I tell you that for remote learning, you don't need the goggles, you don't need the lab coat, so you don't have to purchase, and you don't even have to buy a lab manual for this class.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, but to answer your questions, what type of goggles is suitable for the lab setting is it should have like a on the side, it should have a number Z87 or Z87.1. As long as it has that number, I'm fine for you know, you can purchase it from anywhere. You could purchase from Home Depot, Walmart. Goggles, I think that you can find them much cheaper at Walmart than finding from some other stores. So I like students to shop around to get what, you know, what's best for everyone, including your pocket. Okay, any other questions?
Professor, do we need anything at all? You mentioned that we don't need a book for the labs, so no goggles, nothing like that. Do we need to buy anything?
No,
for your
no,
class?
just be a good friend of the D2L and make sure you know where to find what you need. Those are the folders that I have. I separate them by the folders, like the safety video, and then the quiz is in this folder. You have the safety video and you take the quiz. You have your folders for the experiments that are here, and for each experiment there is a folder, and under each experiment you do have the experiment which replaces the lab manual, because it's just a part of the lab manual related to experiment 1. You have your pre-lab quiz and the video, and then the data sheet. So no purchase necessary.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.